Thank you very much. I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you very much, Dmitry. There are questions? Yes.
Thank you for your presentation. As you know, the technology is extremely fast nowadays. To start with a project for 2 years, it's quite a long time to develop such a software to be presented to the player and to the user after 3-4 years. The time which I think it is too long. If you can minimize the period, accelerate the productions, and look for the obstacle to be eliminated by all the parties. That's my recommendation.
Thank you very much. Actually, that's what shareholders of the company say. And I actually agree with you at many points. The problem is that we need to make a real project of high quality. There are some decisions, software decisions, and software solutions, and what we need to integrate them. I expect the testing model to be presented earlier, but we'll need some time to make it work. So 2 years is not an optimistic term, but we'll try to do our best to do it earlier. But again, as I have a financial accounting background, I must be very conservative, so this is it.
Mr. Bond.
Yes.
Thank you again for the presentation. With so much chess content on the internet now that is free, I can only imagine there will be a resistance to have to pay for it. And this resistance will accumulate by the time you are ready to present something, say, in 2 years from now. So how can you allay my skepticism?
You're absolutely right. There is a risk. That's true. This is why we are working with the marketing agency to help us make this thin line between open and closed limited information. The problem is, if we keep like that, we'll still be in the situation where we have numerous websites with very low capitalization. As if you have a look at the market results of chess website, you won't see a lot of money. This is natural because there is a lot of open information, and when information is in abundance and is free to everyone, it means it has no value, so people can visit a lot of websites to get the same information. They have a choice. So to extract value, we'll need to work out what kind of information we'll have limited access to. It's a very complicated issue. Actually, I would say it's much more complicated than the technical issues, because there are software solutions, and that problem won't be easy to resolve. But we are moving in the right direction. This is why comments and ideas from the top players are extremely valuable to us.
Thank you.
Mr. Sheila? Yes, please.
Yes. Why wouldn't you want to monetize your site by advertising rather than charging chess players?
Excuse me, could you say it again, please?
Why wouldn't you want to monetize your site, your information, by advertising rather than charging chess players?
Advertising is one of the sources of revenue. If you have a look, it has disappeared, I'm very sorry. It was on the presentation. Advertising revenue is a huge source of revenue. The point is, if you have many chess sites and there is no difference among them, it means your advertising doesn't bring you a lot of money because there won't be many clients. And when it comes to a situation with limited information, people will come to us, and as a result, we'll have substantial, or we are supposed to have, substantial revenue from advertising. Yes, please.
How are you going to compete with already existing playing zones like ICC and Play Chess?
Very good. The point is that there is no play zone per se. It's a portal which will have many additional features. In addition, besides the play zone, playing chess will always be a very good attraction, but it's not the only attraction that we have. We are going to have Chess Academy, which Mr. Ali Azizzi will tell us later, if you don't mind. So in that case, we'll have a lot of attraction and we'll be able to attract targeted traffic. I mean the traffic with people who really want to learn something and pay for that. If there is a supply which is not based on financial sources, it means we do not have a lot of demand. So what we need to generate targeted demand for that.
Yeah, wait a moment. Larry and then you. Larry. Larry, you want to speak, no? Please, can you give the microphone there? There.
Thank you. Am I correct by saying that you mentioned a prize? For there is going to be a tournament and a prize as well?
Right.
Now, if this is going to be the case, what's to stop someone, 3 people in a room with a computer, going after that prize, using all the database to compete, using the latest technology, and going after that prize? Fine.
Very good. It's not that bad. At least people play chess. They show interest, and they're interested in the results. And the more interested they show, the more people come to the website, and the more revenue it will generate. We don't mind using computer technology. That's okay. As long as they do not cheat each other, and it's very hard to cheat even if you have a computer. Did I get your question correctly?
I think yes, you did, because there's nothing to stop. As far as I'm concerned, using a computer is cheating.
No. Why?
Because it's supposed to be using your brain.
Actually, this is all for the sake of the game. I can tell you that using computer, in my opinion, it's okay if it's not illegal. To the best of my knowledge, using another computer when playing over the internet is not illegal. So when it comes to ethics, it's a very good question, but I'm not sure if it's not an ethical behavior. Because they play for money, they use legal sources, they do not abuse their rivals, so as long as they're within the legal limits, that's okay.
Can I help a little bit? Because we had many discussions with them. They are thinking that they can create tournaments where legally you can use computer. Who wants to use computers? He can use computers. You understand? Allow people to use computers. What software we have?
Thank
This is one
you very much for
discussion.
your question.
I think Alice can give more information because they have been working here a lot about these ideas of Chess Academy, playing zone, anti-cheating forms and all these ideas.
Yes? It's my turn?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Please.
First of all, let me start from those 2 last questions with Paul and Larry asked. Normally I wouldn't answer like that, but to help to the presentation. And first of all, Turkish Federation is clear in the budget, clear item around 500,000 to 1 million lira per year revenue from paying services on internet for interactive learning, time and space independent, and even for playing. So I'm not talking about gambling. I'm talking about to give the users some additional services normally absolutely free, but additional services with quality, they would like to pay for it. So this is first that I can answer Paul's question. There is such a chance, and in such a country, we are not Russia, we are not United States, with the number of chess players, the chess culture, even we can generate very reasonable money. So this first. The second, about cheating, there is fantastic developments in the computer technology, especially IT technology, to find the anti-cheating measurables, and I know many of them. For example, I can start to give you example 20 of them. I will not go here, but if you ask, I can give you, looking at the IP number and everything, but it's not our subject. Now, when we come to the project, I want to say my opinion first as the Vice President and representing the Turkey and Brunei together as a chess lover, as a delegate in the General Assembly. I don't remember, I think 4 years almost, we have signed a contract with CNC, and they have the internet rights for FIDE. And personally, I'm very happy today to see an initiative by CNC to come to General Assembly to give information, because even it's very late for me. So I hope that these 2 years, as many people requested, like you, should be shorter, that we have to have this technology as soon as possible. As Turkish Chess Federation now, I want to underline that we made a proposal to FIDE, and we knew that according to contract, which ends at the end of 2013, I guess, we are obliged to work together with CNC, and we hope that it will be cooperative, and if FIDE and CNC accepts from the day first, because we have the technology, we have the content, everything is ready, we can start in 2 months, we can create cash flow for FIDE and for all federations as soon as possible. It doesn't mean what is the size of federation, it can start. So myfide.com is a very nice idea to get all issues under one umbrella and to syndicate the different sources and to get a rating overall which is feasible for advertisers to give advertising. Because if you have a small blog, you are not so much interesting for the advertisers probably, but you are like coming together and making a reasonable money. You can find advertisers. Also, there are some problems with this, what kind of advertising will be there. So I don't want to be long, but it's very promising for the future. Only the point I want to underline, I hope it will not be like the last 4 years. It will be very slow. We want to see the action as FIDE. I'm sure all federations, you want to see the action as soon as possible. I hope that CNC will move very fast next month, next week, to start the action. We are waiting for this. We are very thirsty for such as developments. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. I'd like to add here some information. Of course, our contract with CNC has been published. People that they have agreed, they know what exactly is the agreement. CNC has a list of rights that they can activate only based on a concrete project. They don't have rights that they can use without bringing to FIDE a project that we will approve. So this is the situation. Now, they're bringing now a new idea. We have, of course, many discussions with them. We would like to see the final project. And based on this, they can activate rights concerning internet or other rights concerning information, chess information from FIDE. In the same time, in the last years, we could present a project to them, and if they reject the project, then the project could be, we could choose another partner to materialize this project, to go to work for this project. So if we present a project and they don't like the reject, we can have another partner. If they want to activate rights, they should bring a project. This was how we reached the agreement with ACOM that we're going to discuss later, where the part that we suppose that was in their rights to organize events and find sponsorship, we move finally to another company. Yes, Ms. Manuel.
I just wanted to mention that chess is in the information business. And this is a project that, if it's successfully, will create a lot of exposure for the chess community, for the chess family. And if it's not, then it will create opportunities for other competitors that they may like to do something similar or something better in the future. So I would like to thank the gentleman who's presenting for CNC. I think any initiative, especially an initiative that has financial backing, that can create exposure for chess, publicity, and open it to the world, is a good, positive initiative, if it doesn't hurt FIDE in any way. And in this case, it doesn't. It doesn't. The only thing that could be risky is losing opportunities, and we don't have any other opportunity like this. So it's a lot of value to this particular project.
Thank you, Ms. Manuel. Any other question? Yes, please.
Thank you. I just have a small concern about the information monopoly. I think what information, especially if FIDE information is going to be monopolized, maybe payments or charges, if they are going to be attached, then some gaps may be created.
Thank you. The point is that we are trying to get competitive advantages. FIDE has a lot of market power on this market because it's the best chess trademark. What we need to do, we need to take this advantage to the full. FIDE has enormous volume of information. The point is how to utilize this information. If we make all this information open, will we benefit from that? We may, but more likely we may not, because the very moment information becomes available to everyone, it loses its value. This is very tricky point, and this is what we are working on. This is why I emphasize the importance of this issue. We understand that advertising is a very good source of income when it comes to advertising from a monopolist. But when it comes to advertising from one of numerous sites, this is not that good, by evident reasons. So this is why we pay so much attention to splitting, to finding the best way how to split this valuable information, because we need to support and keep its value.
Any other question? No question. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Levitinsky.
Thank you.
Levitansky, sorry. Thank you very much. I move to next point, 1.4, Agion. Now, Annex 11 is the agreement between FIDE and Agion. Annex 12 is the appeal of the Bulgarian Chess Federation in respect of the bidding procedure for the candidates match 2012. And there is an annex, which one? Because the Executive Board approved the proposal of Mr. Freeman to create a committee of Mr. Bohal, Herbert, and Mrs. Murphy to look into the matter of this appeal of the Bulgarian Chess Federation and report the General Assembly. So there is an annex here. Okay? Verbally. So who is going to present the Herbert, Alan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. committee met on the, I believe it would have been the 5th of September. We were given the relevant bid documents, copies of the bid procedure, emails relating to the entire bidding process. Having reviewed these documents, the committee made the following findings. There were 3 bidders. 2 were federations, 1 was a sponsor. As per rules, as per section 4.81 rules and regulations of the candidates match. The procedure was opened before December 31st as pursuant to Article 4.82 contained in the bidding procedure document issued on September 19th, 2011. The 3 bids, 2 were pro forma bids received from federations as per the FIDE offer bid form, and 1 was a multi-event bid received in a contract bid from a sponsor covering multiple events, including the candidates match. The Presidential Board approved the bid from the sponsor, which would be Aegon. This and submitted, obviously it's here in our minutes, to this General Assembly for ratification. This result was announced on February 20th, 2012 by publication on the FIDE website. FIDE signed an agreement with Aegon, which is contingent on ratification by this General Assembly. The requirement to declare that federations have the exclusive right to host World Chess events runs counter to Rule 4.81 of the Candidates' Rules and Regulations. If the General Assembly does not ratify the contract, obviously the bid would be null and void and the award invalidated. And then the General Assembly would have to then consider the other bids. Those were the findings of the subcommittee.
Thank you very much. So it is clear that based on your proposal, first we have to see if we ratified the contract, yes, and then we should deal with your proposal, correct? Yes. So then I would like to ask Mr. Andrew Paulson to come to make this presentation. And then we can discuss after he can answer several questions, we can discuss about the agreement.
Well, I think that you've probably all read you've all read the agreement that's in the documentation. It states very clearly what our intentions are and what our goals are and our methods. We're going to be organizing the events in the World Championship cycle in prestigious venues in major cities around the world. We're going to be financing it with sponsorship revenue, and I hope in the process making chess a more mediatized, more successfully mediatized entertainment that has been in the last 20 or 30 years. I'm often asked by journalists, do I really think that I can make chess as big as it was 20 or 30 years ago? And I point out to them that chess is now probably bigger than it was 20 or 30 years ago. It's simply that media attention, the eye of the camera has been elsewhere. So in fact, a major part of our strategy is to bring media attention to the events themselves. It's not a very major transformation. I don't have any revolutionary ideas. I simply plan on doing everything just a little bit better. And I think that that's the core of our plan. I think it's quite clear. The contract was worked over with Fide's lawyers and Macro and Nigel over the course of 6 or 7 months. In general, it seems to have put in place all the right sticks and carrots. I have to do certain things and meet certain obligations. Fide has to do certain things and meet certain obligations. The duration of the contract gives me the opportunity to justify a significant investment and see a reasonable chance of making a go of it. One of the problems in the past has always been that chess sponsorship has been sporadic, catch as catch can, and not based on a sustainable business model. I think if there's one fundamental element of this contract and of my strategy, is to show the way so that in the future, perhaps at the end of this contract, other people will be able to do exactly the same thing because we will have built a sustainable business with sponsors who actually derive concrete and measurable value from the money that they invest into chess.
Do you have questions, please?
Andrew, thank you very much for the presentation. I have only one question. There will be the first tournament of Grand Prix starts in a few weeks, I think. Maybe I didn't find this information, but who are your sponsors? Is it yourself? Is it your money? Is it FIDE money? Is it money of some other companies? Who are the sponsors of this project?
Unfortunately, the first Grand Prix was supposed to be in Chelyabinsk, and the sponsor of that event was to be the governor of Chelyabinsk. Unfortunately, the Russian Chess Federation wouldn't allow us to hold the event in Chelyabinsk. Therefore, we lost the money from Chelyabinsk. I have to pay £500,000 of my own money, and we had to do it in London.
The governor of Chelyabinsk didn't know anything about this story.
Well, unfortunately, let's go further. The governor, when I entered into this agreement with FIDE, I was told that there were 2 splendid places that they had already organized sponsorship, Chelyabinsk and Tashkent, and that it was my option to take over those 2 events and do them. I accepted because I thought it would be good to start quickly and get things underway. The details, perhaps I don't know whether it was the governor or the minister of sport at Chelyabinsk or exactly who it was who you talked to or who they talked to. Frankly, it's not my business.
Okay, you lost money because of Russian chess.
The result is very simple. The result is simple. The event was supposed to be in Chelyabinsk. I was informed that I could be put into jail if I held the event in Chelyabinsk, and so I decided that it would probably be better to do it in London. And I suggest that you address the rest of the questions to FIDE, because my contract is with FIDE and I don't know those details.
I asked not about the Chelyabinsk, I asked about the sponsors. I understand the situation.
I have to pay for myself. I wasn't planning.
Yeah, he answered this. He's going to pay from his pocket.
You pay from your pocket, yeah?
Unfortunately, I have to.
Okay, I understand the reasons. Okay.
Any other questions? Yes, Mr.
Thank you. After just hearing the proposal from CNC, I'm wondering if there is some kind of collision course between the rights that get activated by the project from CNC and the rights that you will enjoy as the chief organizer of this cycle, or if the time frame is different enough.
I don't see any collision.
Good, thank you.
Any other question? Yes.
Very simplistic question, I apologize for that. But there is a provision in the contract that you pay a deposit of $500,000 in the FIDE account. Was it paid?
I will do that as soon as you ratify the contract.
think it's like 60 days from signing the contract, so I'm not sure whether it's from ratification.
When we signed the contract, I didn't know that the contract was going to be challenged at the General Assembly.
Well, I don't know if it's challenged. The contract says 60 days from the signing.